Graduate degree in neurophysiology, 30 plus years in this, 20 plus years in stem cell research. And it feels like it's kind of, this is the time, right? It's all coming to fruition. And this is going to be the next movement.
It's really the future of medicine. Stem cells can go and repair the pancreas. They can repair the heart. They can repair your lung. They can repair your liver. They can repair your brain. They can repair everything.
What's the deal? Like, why is the United States like, hey, it can't be done here? What's the deal with that? Okay, he says, okay.
If I give you the real answer, and let's do it.
All right, so let me shoot it to you straight. Ketone IQ has been an absolute game changer for me. Now, I used to think that I had my energy just dialed in, locked in. I'm up early at the gym, podcasting, recording, speaking, all this stuff. And, that life rhythm, right? But there were still dips. There's afternoon dips, moments where I'd hit a wall midday and be like, yeah, I need a spark. And that's when I started using Ketone IQ. So it's not the caffeine jittery high that you get with coffee and all of that. It's a whole new level. Focus, mental clarity. It's clean. It's a locked in feeling. And I take it before I podcast, before I go on stage to speak. I take it before my workouts too. My body just, it responds better. I'm sharper. And I'm really big on, every single, thing that I do. I want to have the highest amount of focus, the highest amount of clarity. So for me, it's just become part of my routine is Ketone IQ. It's a non-negotiable for me. It's part of my rhythm. No crash, no nonsense, just real usable energy, and it just keeps me in the flow. So go to ketone.com/David and try it for yourself. That's ketone, ketone.com/David, DAVID. And trust me, you will feel the difference. Christian Drapeau, welcome to the Doctor and the Nurse podcast. Thank you so much for coming on, man. You are incredible wealth of knowledge. It's going to be tough to really just dial in on a few main things here. I think you're very well versed in just a lot of health and wellness and leading research, visionary research. And I think it all comes down to right now, like the next level of longevity. Everybody's talking about longevity. Everybody's talking about health with RFK, and it's an exciting time. And I think there's this gap that we both know of for stem cells. Can you tell us just give the audience a breakdown on stem cells and, obviously what they are, but how important they are to the recovery, regeneration, rejuvenation, everything that they can be and will be in the future going forward?
So in a nutshell, stem cells are literally the repair system of the body. So most people hear about stem cells and it's a treatment. You go somewhere to get stem cells for a specific application. It's something that you do, once in your life. And if you're super wealthy, then you can do this several times in your life. But essentially, it's a high cost treatment to address a specific issue. In longevity medicine, it's become something that you don't necessarily use for one specific issue, but let's say to bring this huge boost of rejuvenation in the body. And what is never talked about is that these stem cells that are used in a lot of these treatments, well, they come from your body. They're already in your body. They're not better because they were taken out and put back in. So to me, what has been the driving question since the early days of stem cell research, since 2001, was if stem cells have such regenerative potential and they are in our body, then what is the natural role of stem cells in the body? And is there a way of leveraging these stem cells in the body? So in direct answer to your question, stem cells are literally the repair system of the body. Just like you have an immune system, you have a repair system. And when the knowledge about the fact that the body as a repair system really sinks into society, then I think it will be obvious that just like when you have a cold, you'll do anything to boost your immune system. Well, if something is broken or not functioning right in the body, then you'll want to stimulate your repair system.
So why is it right now that, stem cell, it's just looked at as almost like a transfusion, right? It's an operation. You can only go to Mexico, Costa Rica, these different countries. What's the deal? Like, why is the United States like, hey, it can't be done here.
Okay.
What's the deal with that? Okay, he says, okay.
If I give you the real answer, and let's do it. I mean, I've tried over the years to not dive too much in there, but RFK is there right now. So let's dive
Yes.
into
We've
those.
got hope. We've got
There you go,
hope.
there's hope. The reason, quite frankly, and it will sound as a conspiracy, but I want to say it as
No.
something that it's just like follow the money, and then
Ah,
it'll tell you exactly what it is.
yeah.
So follow the money in the sense that in our medical history, let's say modern medical history, what has been developed with pharma, there is virtually no curing or no true healing. What we do is that we manage any kind of disease states, and we allow you as an individual to have a greater quality of life, and continue to enjoy life with still the problem, but we're compensating for it. So you have diabetes. We will never cure you of diabetes. We'll just sell you insulin for the rest of your life. I mean, it's an amazing, amazing business model. And then in this whole model suddenly comes stem cells. Stem cells actually repair. There's clear studies, absolutely undeniable. Stem cells can go and repair the pancreas. They can repair the heart. They can repair your lung. They can repair your liver. They can repair your brain. They can repair everything. So there's a path to now go way beyond management of health conditions to allow the body to repair. So in a world where all the money in medicine is into giving you a better quality of life by selling you something every day of your life for the rest of your life, now you bring a model that says we can repair. It is the biggest threat to that industry. So the first reaction is let's block it while we can find a way to maybe capture this new momentum in stem cells and turn it into something that I can sell you in a little vial, like grab this whole thing by big pharma. And while some of it is happening, there are products that are being developed where you can have a little vial of stem cells that has been somewhat produced in a controlled system. Like these things are there. But at the end of the day, you go to any doctor who knows what they're doing, they can take your own stem cells, prepare them, re-inject them. And the only people who made money is the people selling syringe and a centrifuge. So it is the biggest threat of this mega industry of medicine. And for that reason, regulatory blockers have been put. And that is why in not only the US, but US, France, Germany, like all the main countries where pharma is extremely strong, those countries have blocked the development of stem cell technology. And it's a bummer because it's really the future of medicine. Absolutely no question.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, and it's not a conspiracy at all. I think it is exactly you follow the money, and where there's an opportunity to make billions of dollars, they're going to do whatever it takes to make billions of dollars instead of it's just, the whole cycle. Like, and I think people know that now too. It's something that just has become an understanding of, okay, here's what's really going on, and it's going to continue to do so also. It's interesting you talked about that of like, hey, you know what? It used to be just let's give you something and let's hope you get better, but you probably won't. But stem cells can actually repair type 1 diabetes. I've got all these studies pulled up here. As you probably know this, it was a 25-year-old woman with type 1 diabetes achieved insulin independence following a stem cell transplant. So stem cells
No question.
reversed the diabetes. There's heart tissue for children with heart failure. Like that used to be something like, and that, I think a lot of people still think of like, well, if it's heart failure, you're done. No. Stem cells is what's repairing. Can you talk through the process of, what I think is fascinating is what you're doing at Stemregen. I think this is where it really comes into like, okay, because a lot of people are like, all right, well, I got to go here and soon the United States will get it. We think, we hope. But with Stemregen, it's not you have to go into a doctor's office and you have to get transfusions and respun and all this. It's literally you have it in pill form of the stem cells.
So just to be clear, Stemregen is not stem cells in a pill. It is plant extracts that will, just like you have plants that will stimulate your immune system, these are plants that will stimulate your repair system. So these plants will trigger the release of your own stem cells, and within about 2-3 hours, we'll put roughly 10 million additional stem cells in circulation. It's really that simple. And I do believe, and before I go there, I just want to be clear. I totally respect the world of stem cell injection. I have many friends and colleagues in that world. My intent is to work together with that field. But if there's no but, and if we look at this whole field, The reason why it developed the way that it developed is, and I'm going to do like a quick snapshot of this whole history. But at first, the belief is that embryonic stem cells are super powerful. And when we test adult stem cells coming from our bone marrow using the methods that were developed for embryonic stem cells, they don't work very well. So, conclusion, your own stem cells really are not that powerful. They can only do like blood cells. So, we need to go and get stem cells somewhere else where they have more power. And then we realize that umbilical cord stem cells, placenta stem cells, can have quite a bit of efficacy. So now these old networks of collection of these cells developed. And as all of this develops over the years, we realize that your stem cells from your bone marrow are just as potent. We simply need to develop methods that make them work as effective as they can. So let me do like a small example here. You just talked about stem cells that can repair the heart. There's a study that was done, I mean, it's more than 10 years ago, where they took the heart of a mouse, completely digested the heart with digestive enzymes. So at the end, you're left with the collagen of that heart, like the soft skeleton of that heart. And on that soft skeleton that still retains the trace that it was a heart, they simply lay out the stem cells from that animal, from this animal bone marrow. And within a week, they have a beating heart in the test tube. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty
This is
fascinating.
powerful. So your stem cells can do that. So now the big question is, why is it that we normally don't get the full repair of the heart in a normal person? So to me, the question is not what can stem cells do? The question is, how can we identify the obstacles for this to fully happen in the body, and then make that happen in the body? And a lot of this work is being done right now. So stem cells, there's no question, is the future of stem cell research or medicine. And the work that I have been doing in this is that instead of going somewhere and getting an injection, we just found a way to trigger the release of your own stem cells. So you do 10 million every day, do this twice a day. So that's 20 million a day. Do this for a month. You have released after a month 600 million of your own stem cells. It starts to be like really significant.
Oh,
and
no,
and we have the studies, like you mentioned, congestive heart failure. We have those studies. They are ongoing. We're seeing absolutely fabulous results just by triggering the releases of people's own stem cells.
Man, so talk to me more on the plant. Is it AFA? I know I'm going to butcher the name of it. Is that the that triggers it? What triggers the stem cells in your body?
So AFA stands for Aphanizomenon flos aqua, so which is the first blue-green algae. So it's the first plant that I studied.
Yeah.
I was working on this plant since 1995, and we were trying to explain how it was working. And what was how could I say, more than fascinating was kind of the motivation for me. What was mind-boggling to me was not only the extent of the benefit that we would see, but the broad variety of those benefits. Like some people had amazing results with problem with the nervous system, with the brain, other people, the heart, the lung, the pancreas, the liver. I mean, it was touching so many different aspects of human health. We had no understanding what was the mechanism of action until the early days of stem cell research, when I just started to think, well, what if stem cells are actually the repair system of the body? And just like you have plants stimulating the immune system, then this is a plant that stimulates the repair system. So we acquired the equipment to quantify stem cells in the bloodstream, and we simply look at what happened before and after consumption of that blue-green algae AFA, and we discovered that was, I wouldn't say its own mechanism of action, but the main mechanism of action on all those benefits that we were seeing. So after that, then I start to ask the question, what other plants have been known historically to be associated with the broad variety of benefits? And let's go and study them. So immediately you'll think of goji berries, medicinal mushroom, adaptogens, those kinds of things. So we studied a lot of those, and we really got the big hitters, if you want, the big plants, when I had a chance to go in remote areas of the world. What are they doing in Madagascar? What is their go-to plant? You go in the Tibetan plateau at high altitude. What is their go-to plant? So through that work now, Stemregen has this blue-green algae AFA. We have macroclada from Madagascar. We have sea buckthorn berry from the Tibetan plateau, ficoidan from seaweeds, and then we have an extract from Panax notogensin. These are the top 5 plants that we have identified as the main mobilizers of stem cells that we have studied so far.
Wow. Wow. I mean, just to even have the wherewithal to go and find these and know where they are and put these together, it's almost like it's the cocktail of the future, I guess I could say. And I mean, there's like you're talking about the studies for diabetes, heart repair, so many other things, but also from an athletic standpoint, it's been used for muscle repair, hypertrophy, quick recovery. I know there's a study that was done in a Spanish soccer team with soft tissue ankle injuries. And can you talk about about the accelerated recovery of injury based on AFA and Stemregen?
So this is a study. So we had a chance. We had access to a professional soccer team in Madrid. This is a number of years ago, and the coach called a good colleague of mine and said, "I'm in trouble. I have 12 players that have soft ankle injury." Soft tissue injury to the ankle. So they're starting the season. I believe it was in 2013, 14. So they're starting the season, and 12 players in the team can't play. So he told me, I mean, this is tragic. Like, help me. So we took this opportunity. So we separate these 12 players in 2 groups. We pair match them, body weight type of injuries, so that one would go control and the other player would go experimental. So 6 players would do everything that is normally done for those injuries. So you're talking about anti-inflammatory drugs, sound therapies, physical therapies, everything that they normally do. And the other team had access to the same thing. And then we added a blend of these plants that triggers stem cell release from the bone marrow. So the only difference is that the experimental group had more stem cells in circulation every day during the time of recovery. So, and the outcome of that study is that they basically returned to play. Their progress was about twice as fast in terms of recovery. They returned to play a week before the other players, which is huge, for a professional team. And they requested way less pain, way less pain medication, way less physical therapy. They used less of what was normally used for the treatments. And it's really a very clear reflection. We've seen this in so many different cases. You're talking about recovery here from ankle injury, but we have the same thing with surgeons. We're working with surgeons right now. At the moment you put any patients on a blend of these plants on Stemregen, they will come back and that patient will have recovered much faster. You're talking about athletes. Right now we're developing a strong message to reach out athletes or anybody who is working out, because what happens is that, let's take a professional athlete as an example. Somebody who sometime for 10, 15 years, they work out every single day, pretty severe or intense physical activity. So that means during this entire time, there's never a day where they don't have some form of microtrauma. They're always working out on yesterday's micro lesions, micro injuries. So if there's a place, there's an accumulation of these micro injuries, this is where they will get the injury at some point down the road. So now you allow them to do their physical activity and every day to release more stem cells. Stem cells will go to these micro lesions, will heal tendon, ligaments, and muscle much faster. When they go back to the gym the day after, workout, competition, whatever, they're not going to do this on yesterday's micro lesion because they would have repaired. And then you take away now the opportunity that is growing for injuries that are going to happen in the future on this cumulative effect of these micro lesions. So the impact can be really, really quite significant. Yeah. So now we're really targeting this demographic because and they do see benefits. We've seen this in so many players, so many athletes so far.
Yeah, I mean that's phenomenal. I mean that's kind of why Kobe Bryant was doing the blood spinning, the stem cells years ago, right? And he's as a pioneer in it, but now you're bringing it to be able to everybody and able to use that. So ESCM, can you tell us about ESCM in the recovery process for athletes? This is the endogenous stem cell mobilization. Mobilization of it. Where does that come up? Is that just the action of the Stemregen working in the body to recover it?
Yeah, it's a little bit like if I tell you like serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So everybody knows right now what it is. You call them, SRI, and so uh, uh, so the acronym for it has become like super known, and most people will not know what it means. Well, what does it mean to have a serotonin uptake inhibitor? So the idea was to be able to take this scientific concept of releasing your own stem cells into an acronym, but scientifically it refers to a nomenclature, something that I put in the scientific literature, so that we can start to describe it and talk about it, which is endogenous stem cell mobilization, which means the release of your own stem cells, ESCM, and it's basically a concept that we can tap in, because we do this every day. We release stem cells every day. We mobilize our own stem cells every day. So what if we could release more every day and boost this natural ability of the body to repair? So that's what ESCM is.
Man, this is just fascinating stuff. What do you think like it's going to take for society to get on board with this? Do they just seem to feel it and it just becomes more mainstream where they know it? Is it a RFK and the Maha group making a big push for it? I mean, it just feels like this is the obvious next move in health, wellness, longevity. I think it was. So was that? I mean, was it Brian Johnson who was getting that? I mean, he was getting his stem cells spun, or was that a DNA thing? Like what?
They all do it.
They all do it, right? Yeah.
They all do
What do you
it.
think? What do you think? I mean, it takes for this to become a mainstream thing. Is it just the awareness of it, or is there some other thing at play here?
I think it is just the awareness.
Yeah.
It's a concept that is extremely new, extremely provocative.
Yeah.
How can you how is it that you have to go to another country, pay $25,000 to get, I don't know, 200 million, 300 million stem cells, and then suddenly there's a way that is like a fraction of that cost, where you can release the same number of stem cells from yourself? It's kind of hard to swallow. The first reaction from just about anybody in the medical world that I come across is like, oh, this is a scam. This is nonsense. And then if I have a chance to just dive into the science, it is like very, very simple to see, super common sense. All the data is there. Hundreds of studies documenting what your own stem cells do in your body. I mean, there's really nothing here that is hard to understand. It's just like, it's just hard to swallow that you can achieve so much in such an easy way. And I would say one thing that is also hard to swallow is just, it's just the idea that, and just understand it, super simple. All the problem that you experience in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you didn't have them into your 20s and 30s. And the main reason is that you had more stem cells. But everybody in their 40s and 50s and 60s have these problems. Like, you don't recover as fast. And because it happens to